Alright, I'm going back to playing the Forgotten City for today. I won't be streaming it so it doesn't end up crashing on me, like the last 3 times now. And I'm gonna load back to where I think it was the last save before I did. I think it was this one. So that for the YouTube video it's all consistent. Oh, actually, these would have been back to... Yeah, I think this is close enough because the time between it crashing and between me starting to stream and it crashing, I was only wandering around figuring out how to get into the palace. Then I went down to the Shrine of Diana to get this. Alright. Roman man on his knees, as if uttering a desperate prayer. Clearly it fell on deaf ears. Let's see. I have already done this, so I know what kind of happens.
Is that you, partner? Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the... And yet you did. And now, here we are. With me out here, and you in there. Until you give me my bow. No, technically, I never said that. I said, if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love a good loophole. Not a very effective threat, is it? See, your first problem is, you're in there, and I'm out here. Your second problem is the golden rule. What are you gonna do? Kill us all? It's an empty threat. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognise my own handiwork. I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be rather aggressive toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man, but I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out how many it takes to kill a woman, shall we?
Huh. Alright, this is where it crashed last time. It was coming through this area. So everything up to this point is now new stuff that I haven't seen. It is recording, yeah, good. Kind of a bit paranoid about that. Wait a moment. No. Oh my god. You can turn that to gold. Oh my lord. Okay, that is a neat mechanic, I must say. What's over? Huh. I'm guessing this loops all the way back around. Take a look at this. Ah. Nabaya.
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again and found myself drawn to the statue of a Roman woman wearing a stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and, disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me. As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that even though I had moved, she was still looking right into my soul. That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This was a woman trapped within that golden prison. Naturally, I told the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. But from that moment on, I knew the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke.
I suspected that they were still alive in there, but... Ooh! So wait, does that mean this bow might also have the power to undo it? No. No. Oh my god, this is such a neat mechanic and I love it. Oh yeah, I did move this onto my SSD, so now everything's gonna be faster. Cleared up enough space. Lots of arrows, that's... For anything else? Can I... No? Huh. Oh, what? You poor souls. I honestly feel pity for them. I fear Navarra, the one who locked herself in here, might be dead.
You're not supposed to be here.
Now that is neat. I really like how the whispers actually. Oh my god, I love the whispering mechanic. They're uh-oh. Oh no.
Kill me.
Well. Well, that was something. Come on, come on. Okay, so headshots turn them to gold in one hit, but arms do not. Chest shots required too. Oh my god. So that's how you're supposed to... They're still alive in there. Oh my... These poor souls. They're still alive even after what's gonna... After how much they've decayed. Well...
Why won't it stop?
That saved me quite a few arrows. Ooh. I want to get the achievement for camera mode. Well, photo mode. Okay. Palace doors.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in a nightmare. What must life be like for these poor souls, entombed in gold, but kept alive somehow? Trapped in their own personal Tartarus, consigned to eternal torment, too horrific for any sane mind to comprehend. I tried to offer them what small mercies I could. I began to talk to them, to keep them company. I'd imagine backstories for them, give them names, and tell them of the world, of the histories and stories I'd learned as a child. As the others became more concerned by my charity, I sought solitude from them, preferring the company of my tormented charges. Discovering a way into the abandoned palace, I began to spend my days walking its halls and sharing with its occupants ancient tales, my mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne, Perseus and Medusa, and Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion, the sculptor who fell in love with a beautiful statue, and who, praying to Aphrodite for aid, discovered that his beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your real name, just one I have borrowed from a story. But when I turned to look at you, I saw the most exquisitely beautiful woman I have ever known. Your face, forever frozen in a look of haunting sadness. Our meeting gave me new purpose, to free you from your golden prison, so that I might one day hear you speak, not just whisper your true name to me. So I gathered tools for the long and difficult task ahead, barred the doors to this place, and set to work.
Don't tell me that these ones that are running around, that she was chipping away at them trying to break through the gold, and that's why they look half-formed. Huh. What? Huh. Well. Oh god. Brute force can in fact eliminate them. Well, that one's trapped. God, I can't get over how cool that mechanic is. Oh my God. I don't want to
kill us. Help us.
Oh, I can't even.
Please. Kill me.
It never ends.
Help us.
I have to go down there, so. can't even go in there, so this was kind of a bit pointless. Young Roman woman with her arms raised as if suddenly terrified by something unknown. Larium, a small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection. Come on. Ah. I feel like I've seen this head on a statue before. I'm pretty sure this is Alexander the Great, a bust of him. Oh, another journal.
My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan. My first charge was a Greek woman who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling through the gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning these poor souls does not care about their suffering at all. They are forsaken. Undeterred, I pressed on, working late into the night, attempting to remove the golden layer that encased her as delicately as I could. Eventually, I was able to free most of her body, but when I released her from her restraints, her first act was to lunge for my throat, clawing at me with all her strength and those sharp metal talons. This was my thanks for trying to save her. Whatever possessed Iodame to attack, she was clearly not a suitable subject for my experiment, and I was forced to lock her inside an isolated wing of the palace and bar the door. As I continued working on others, I could hear her flailing and launching herself at the other side endlessly. Regrettably, my other experiments bore similar results, and after relocating a few times, most of the palace is now too dangerous to work in. Still, as much as my heart aches to know that you're suffering, I cannot risk attempting to ungild you yet. Not until I have perfected a method that will bring you back to me, whole in both mind and body, and ensuring your humanity is preserved. I promise you this. One day we will be together, even if I have to free every last statue in this god's forsaken place.
Well. Oh! What?
Oh, God.
so much liking Nervea because her methods are horrific. Roman military commander, clutching as if a scroll, as if issuing a decree. Sadly, whatever it was in vain. What? The scale on these statues are off, I feel. There are actual ones and they don't feel right. Wait, wasn't this where? Yeah, this was where. Oh, don't tell me she's dead. Oh God, what? Oh my God. What a... Oh my Lord. This is just gruesome. Wait. Do I get to become basically judge, jury, and executioner with this bow? Oh dear God.
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiments. And worst of all, look at what you made me do to her. This never would have happened if you just stayed away. You're going to pay for that. And you think I care about that? I don't care what happens to me, as long as you get what you deserve. You think you can bring me down with your little wooden arrows before I jam this blade into your throat? What? How? That's impossible. You're trying to intimidate me. Liar. Really? I'm not sure I believe you. But if you can undo this mess, I'll give you the key to my old medical chest in the Shrine of Apollo. I imagine it would help Lucretia ease the suffering of those still in the city. But if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule and kill you and everyone else in this city. Understood? You did it. You took away her pain. I don't know what to say. Thank you, thank you. I swear I will never harm her again. I swear it. I'll stay here to keep her company. But these poor souls, what can be done for them? I've tried everything I can. I fear the only one capable of releasing them properly is whichever god doomed them in the first place. In any case, I must honor our bargain. Here's the key I promised you. It opens a chest in the Shrine of Apollo. I believe there are a few things in there which may be useful to Lucretia. Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. You should be able to make your way down from there. Go.
So wait, is this... Okay. There. Let me speak to you. Fine.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Did I not speak?
Greetings, I'm George.
Oh, I haven't spoken
It
to him in
gladdens
this
me to see another foreigner in our
since I
midst.
did reset
We
time.
must stick together, you and I. My friend, your words intrigue me more and more. But yes, very well. Ask me what you will. That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Maleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way.
Huh.
Nothing comes to my...
Same thing I've made every day for the last 5 months, Georgius. Bread.
Ah, but it's the way you make it which makes it so magnificent.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Just follow the recipe.
Feeling all right?
Dead simple.
Yes, you managed to elevate it to another...
You old flatterer.
Oh.
What are you like?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh. All right.
Now where's the chest? Ah.
A golden bow, just like Apollo and Diana's. Feeling all right? You made it into the palace. I'm impressed. How is Nevia? Willowback. I should have known. It was under my nose the whole time. That's very helpful. Thank you. If this works, it should settle Rufius down some. I have some right here. Could you do me a favor and give him some of this? He'll just need to swallow a pinch of... Thank you. I'm really glad you arrived when you did. That's a...
He's not moving. I'll go talk to Equitia first.
That's quite an impressive bow you have there, just like Diana's. I take it you've cleared the way to the baths? Follow me, but don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
She said not to follow too closely. So wait, all this time was it Galatia speaking to the statues? Oh yeah, I never did investigate the baths here. How did did the assassin make his way in here through here? Oh. Huh? Oh! Oh, that's right! I entered through here. I forgot originally, and then I went over to the shrine to Prosperna, and went through a portal in time. That's right.
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp! But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N.
Sharon. Is it Sharon the Greek?
As in, Charon, the ferryman of the dead.
Oh.
Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
Oh.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all.
What?
Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been
Pluto?
Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can.
So everyone here is dead.
That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know.
In that case, I feel like it might be everyone's here is dead, but except for me. That's my theory.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it.
The Romans did.
Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks. The only difference is that they spelled it with a kappa, which I suppose means K-H-A-R-O-N, is closer to the original spelling. To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress.
Tabal, that's
But
Egyptian,
whatever
isn't
form
it?
this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort,
That
and their
sounds
name
Egyptian.
always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again. Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river. But that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not.
Huh.
No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help, I promise you. Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter, Orpheus, a Thracian poet, Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra, and Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril.
Huh.
Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules. Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again. It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques.
Could the 4th one be
Roman,
Gallic in
Greek,
origin?
Egyptian, and a 4th,
I have a feeling it's
mystery
either
plaque.
Gallic or Punic. The 4th plaque might be Gallic or Punic in origin. Because Punic, because it...
Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, So it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten. And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that.
Christians.
There's a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true God. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them won't be easy. But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque. I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the forum. Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, would be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one, but perhaps finding the other three will illuminate the way. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage. If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels? Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say?
Oh!
Fascinating. Perhaps she's a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out? Oh, I see. Well, let me know if you hear anything that might be a thread through this labyrinth. All right. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone.
I'll go do it.
In any case, time is of the essence, so you'd best begin. May Fortuna guide you. Although you may not need her with Proserpina on your side.
Fortuna is Athena, isn't she? Fortuna is the Roman version of Athena, I believe. Lead against the current, eh? Now, I want to know, I want to speak to Decius, but where is he?
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, a new face. I hear we have you to thank for... Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. My vote isn't for sale, if... Nice to...
You look well, my sartorial friend. Hello again. And in a city full of Romans, you are asking me? Because I am Greek. Let me tell you something about Greeks and Romans. My name is Georgios, yes. But the Romans, they do not care. They hear me say Georgios, and they think, ah, he must mean Georgius. Good Roman name. They do this all the time. They see us worshipping Zeus, they copy us, but call him Jupiter. They take Hades and call him Pluto, Persephone, Proserpina. I am flattered that they copy our ideas, but why must they change the names? Do they want credit for making it all up?
They do.
Do they want to forget where it came from? At first, I pull my hair out. After a while, I give up, and I become Georgius the Roman. I accept the world is Roman now. Plus, I have no hair left to pull. But my point is this. If you want to know who stole an old Greek name, look no further than the sticky-fingered Romans. The plague you seek was pilfered from a collection of old Greek relics by none other than Dooley. He cannot help it. Like a typical Roman, he likes shiny things, especially those that once belonged to my people. And besides, it makes him happy. So I say, let him keep it. I believe he still has it with him, in his cell, just opposite the Temple of Demeter. I hope that our...
May Apollo keep you safe.
That's quite an impressive bow you have there.
I wonder, what happened if I used my bow on someone? Would that trigger the golden rule? Because then technically wouldn't die.
Citizen? Ah, you've returned. Ask that. Good. Of course. It looks like you'll have to continue. You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That man is a liability we simply cannot afford. Perhaps you're not aware he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been. Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic, the law of the 12 Tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule breaker. I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man can go free. Now, thank you.
Okay, so...
Horatius? Looking a bit troubled there.
Still no sign of Scintilla. And I haven't slept right in 3 weeks.
Don't be too hard on yourself. From what I hear, nobody saw it coming. Anyway, I thought you Stoics weren't supposed to worry about things you can't control.
Yeah, but I keep thinking, what if there is something I can do? What if she's out there somewhere suffering, waiting to be found?
Sounds like you're torturing yourself. Leave that for the gods. Try to relax, get some rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff.
I suppose you're right.
Oh, hello there, partner. I'm glad you're here. I think there might have been some confusion about my little practical joke earlier. You see, my plan was to give you a little fright. You know, like two friends joking around at the Saturnalia, and then, surprise, I'd open the door. But when I opened it, you were gone. Partner, I swear, This is just a misunderstanding. Look. Fine. It's a credit to you that you're able to see the humour in all of this. Very well.
Fortune, smile on you, sister.
Of a degenerate mind.
So exotic.
I saw you use the device I made, and it worked! Anyway, I'm sorry to ask, but... Well, I've been trying to get this rare flower from the rock spire, and it's too steep to climb, so I hung a rope over the lake and made this pulley device, only I, couldn't quite summon the nerve to use it. Do you think you could use the device again, and... Oh, thank you. It would help me a lot. There's no rush. Well, it's a long one, and kind of sad, but I don't mind telling it. I'm a farmer. Always have been.
Ooh,
I grew up in a small
Britannia.
village in Britannia, Camulodunum, with my parents and 2 little sisters. Lovely part of the world. One day, when I was about 20, my father and I were in the top paddock, loading our cart, when some Roman legionaries came along, demanding produce for their men. My father told me to run into the house for his axe, and so I did. Sprinted so fast I almost threw up. But by the time I got back, he was bleeding out on the ground, and our cart was empty. That was my first encounter with the legions. My mother died of a broken heart soon after, and things went downhill from there. I took over the farmstead, but I was young. It was a struggle. More raiding started before too long. We'd come outside in the morning to find animals missing, our stores pillaged. These Legion thugs just took whatever they wanted. One night, when my sisters and I had nothing left to steal, there was a knock at the door. I knew who they were, and what they wanted. I got my father's old axe, pulled the door open real quick, and before that soldier knew it, split his face right down the middle. But there were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a mouth full of dirt and lungs full of smoke. My home was reduced to ash. My sisters, dead. And they left me alive to see what they'd done. Still burns whenever I think about it. Yeah, well, I wasn't the only one this happened to. It wasn't long before Boudica led thousands of Britons in a rebellion against the Romans. Unfortunately, there were just too many of them. And those of us who survived, they enslaved. So, then I found myself being transported all the way to Rome to be sold to the highest bidder. I spent a few years working for my new master, learning the Romans' ways, Romanized my name and everything. Tried to escape a couple of times, but they always found me. I'd just end up right back where I was. I'd probably still be there too, if it wasn't for the stampedes breaking out. You see, about 7 months ago, an enormous fire broke out in Rome. Everybody was running down toward the river, screaming and shouting. Never seen anything like it. Human beings acting like cattle. I got swept up with them somehow, and the rest is a blur. The next thing I knew, some stranger was dragging me out of a river. Stumbled across this place, and I started my life over again. That's what I thought too, for a while. See, I finally had my own farm again, safe from the grasping hands of the Romans. Or so I thought. Until Sentius the Decurion demanded I hand over all my produce. It's for the good of us all, he says. Only he takes the best bits for himself, of course. He even told me if I refuse his demands, I'll break the golden rule. I'm not sure I believe him, but then, what if he's right? So, it turns out our dear old magistrate is no better than the Legion thugs who took everything from me. I'm right back where I began. But don't you worry, Nemesis is waiting, and he'll get his, one day.
Nemesis,
He'll get
eh?
his. Forget I said that last part, will you? I get carried away sometimes. Thanks, friend. Anyway, that's enough of me. I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. I don't like Sentius much, but Malleolus is almost as bad. Even I could do a better job. Me, a farmer. And I've never given a speech or put on a toga in my life. I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius is never going to do it. But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's going to take him on and win.
So
Maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom, so I'm hoping if he's elected, he'll release Dooley from his cell. And that's good enough for me.
So I need to find a way to make Malleolus ruin his chances.
And how could you know that? I mean, I don't like the man, but I don't see how you could know a thing like that.
Alright, oh, Rufius.
What about it? Willowbark. Finally, some relief. This is what I've been praying for. Maybe God hasn't abandoned me after all. Thank you. I've been in a lot of pain lately. The rheumatism, these cursed statues always watching, and the crisis of faith. It was too much. Started messing with me. No idea what.
I fear that it was him.
No idea what you. I think I have seen that plaque. Sorry I lied. Can't be too careful these days. Hidden to the caves behind the theater.
Then right again.
Oh.
Back
You
there.
didn't get that from Malleolus. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even. No. So you're
Back again. Not for a few weeks now. Last time I saw him, I remember because they kept looking over their shoulders as if they didn't want anyone else. The one word I kept hearing was vanishing. And then, the next day, Kabash just disappeared. Coincidence? I think not. All right.
Fortune's
Well, now-
smile on you, sister.
Not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is and always will be with Sentius. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery, and intimidation. The man's a savage, but he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change. I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between now and the election this afternoon. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings. All right?
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the drops, just as the ocean accepts the... But it does not know. Say it. Speak its name. Then it is true. I was right. I thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I kept thinking I must have gone insane. I had to tell myself it was true over and over again, until I wasn't sure if I was deceiving myself. I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. I'd found comfort in reciting the Metamorphoses by our great poet Ovid. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I cannot help but wonder if he himself came here. Would you like to hear it? I will do my best to remember the relevant verse. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the shadows of the newly dead descend, entombed with full rites, and the ghosts of those, at last, given proper burial. The wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road that leads to the Stygian city, where Black Dis has his cruel palace. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls, and is never too small for any populace, nor notices the crowds that come. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, and still others incur punishment. I hope I have done it justice, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've lifted a...
Huh. Well. Uh-oh. So I can't change the election then. Before that.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and Marcus Malleolus Gurges. As agreed, we shall dispense with violence. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius. Dacius. Galerius.
I abstain. I'm just here to observe.
Virgil.
Malleolus.
Rufius. And finally, Domitius.
Malleolus! Who else?
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Marcus Malleolus Gurges.
Hail, Magistrate Malleolus! I said, hail, Magistrate Malleolus! That's more like it.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected
Okay,
your
I'm gonna go
magistrate.
get that plaque and then I'm
And
gonna
now,
ransack his house.
I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. No more shall you walk on eggshells, fearing simply to live and breathe, because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. For my first act as magistrate, I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark the end of an era. The myth of the Golden Rule is no more.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
For his attempt to deceive us all, Sentius is hereby found...
Oh dear. I just had to see what happened. Alright, so what I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna run...
For his attempt to deceive us all, Sentius is hereby found guilty of treason against the Empire.
What? I have committed no crimes. This is madness.
His sentence: to fight for his life in gladiatorial combat against Domitius. Here and now for your entertainment.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Wait, I exercise my right as a Vestal priestess to pardon him. I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies! It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is, a children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
Wait, this is why he's in his gladiator gear. They've been planning this all along.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Okay, what I need to do is I need to get back here. Oh, I'm near it. Huh? Why can't... Ah.
Oh!
Ah! Bob and weave, bob and weave. Alright, second oh no, I forgot the oh. Don't have the cure for the poison. Which means I'm afraid that she is gonna die.
Salve, friend. Oh, so. Yulia. Oh. Poor guy. My uncle was a victim at rheumatism's altar, and he ended up killing himself. Alright, got it. Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you...
Fear is proof of a degenerate. What is it? All right.
So I know one person who's...
We're finally alone. We have? I must... Is that about... Seems rather brash. Of course. Well, allow the crux of it to illustrate that if either of... So the...
Okay, so there's still work to be done. I got one plaque. But I don't think it's a good idea to put it in until I got all 4 plaques.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Magistrate's orders.
Hey, Horatius. How's it feel knowing your man's doomed to lose the election today?
If you're trying to goad me into an argument, it won't work. I'm a stoic, remember?
If the old man couldn't even keep his own daughter safe, how can anyone trust him to keep us safe, eh?
Why do I get the feeling you lot had something to do with Centilla's disappearance?
That's it. Blame everyone but yourself.
If I find out you did something to that poor sweet girl, not even the Golden Rule is gonna protect you. Got it?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
Welcome.
Thank God.
Feeling all right?
Finally, some relief
That's
after all this time. You're a good man, Galerius.
Appreciate that. Now, I've got to run.
Name's Wolf. See.
Salve again, friend. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them? You're toying with me, right? Wait, you're not kidding, are you? That's the only way you could have known. You're a bit like... Oh, what was his name? Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Old King Sisyphus. Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart the gods, he was given a terrible punishment. He was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill. Only, just as it reached the top, it would roll all the way back down to the bottom, forcing him to start over and over and over again, for all eternity. Just like you. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. The Pleiades had to keep fetching water in a sieve. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were. Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, so I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you. Oh, now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if... Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I saw you slide... And strange, too, since that device you used is exactly the same as one I've been working on for weeks. Oh, of course! It's because I already gave it to you in a previous time loop, isn't it? Anyway, I'm sorry to ask, but is there any... Well, I've been trying to get this... Do you... Oh. I've bounced the idea, but from what I hear, maybe... And how could you... Oh, wait. You've seen it in another time loop, haven't you? Well, in that case, we need to find a way to make sure Malleolus loses. Better yet, get him to withdraw altogether. If you can do that, and Sentius is the only candidate left...
Okay, so the first things first, I'm gonna go for that flower. After that, I'm gonna go up into his... Up there. So I don't need to climb up. I don't... Do I need? Can I turn that tree to gold? No. Which I'm guessing that means the only way to get up to there is through the zip line. I kind of have a feeling that I'm gonna break my ankles.
Salve!
I don't even know if you can drop off the zip line midway. Almost. Let go a little bit too early. Might be faster if I just ran up here. No, wait, no. The original path is up there.
Don't you just love springtime? Salvig, now. Brilliant! You did it! Well done! This is going to make her so happy. Equitia, I mean. Now I just have to figure out how to give. What I really want to do is walk up to her, give her the flower, and confess I've been madly in love. But on the other hand, I can't shake the... You mean, aside from... You see, Equitia is a Vestal priestess, meaning she's taken a vow of chastity, the breaking of which would be an extremely serious affront to the gods and a capital offense. Even if she was just suspected of being unchaste, it could lead to her execution. Unchaste Vestals get buried alive. Oh, and I'd get flogged to death for good measure. But at the same time, she's just so kind and grace. I don't know what to do. What do you think? What I need is a go-between. Someone who can tell her how I feel and find out how... What do you say? Do you think you... Wonderful! Now, all I need you to do is give her the flower and tell her it's from a secret admirer. Tell her I'll keep my distance and that I just... Thank you. Come back as quick as you can.
Oh, man. Now I'll go... Oh. How much gold do I have? Ooh, 4,000 denarii.
Citizen.
A golden bow, just like Apollo and
Where is
Diana.
Equitia? Ah, there she is.
That's quite an impressive bow you have there. A new face. Oh, how lovely. It just happens to be my... I see. So... Of course I do. That man is a wonderful human being, and my favorite person in the world. But he is the least subtle secret admirer you could imagine. The way he looks at me with those puppy dog eyes. Plus, he's been trying for weeks to get his hands on this flower. He went to so much effort, too. Suspending that rope above the lake, inventing that pulley device all on his own. He'd just stand there each morning, looking at the flower, trying to summon the courage to seize it. Oh, my heart. Tell that adorable oaf that my Vestal's vow of chastity ends once I turn 36. So, if we ever make it out of here, and he doesn't mind waiting a few years, then tell him I hope so. Oh my. That is quite a lot to take in. You'll have to give me a moment. Let's see. If that is indeed the case, I suppose we better figure out what to do. We don't have much to go on. Herc, Sisip, and find. So it. Are you? I won't. So, who knows? But first, the it look if you.
Okay, same dialogue as before. Alright, so next thing is... I'll go up there. Actually, Decius might have some dialogue.
Salve. Hello there, friend. May I say that... Are you well, stranger? Have you been out in the sun? Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even...
Malleolus definitely did do something to Sentius. It's his daughter. I mean to find out. Oh, I'll head in here for a moment. Huh? Okay, so that's done, but how do I even get up there in the first place?
Salve, friend. Welcome to life. All right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Yet...
That's the idea.
What? Why?
Why do you think?
I know. Please, please...
I'm sorry, but...
Please, help him. Thank...
You know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone. Well, if you say so. You don't understand. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want it all to be over. It's too late for that. Yulia and I made a... If I backed out now... Oh, really? That changes things a little. But we're still in debt bondage to that monster. Unless you happen to have 2,000 and... Really? Wait. You'd do that for us? It seems today... Thank you, friend. Thank you. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news.
Okay. There's no water down there. So wait, will that stay between time loops? I haven't explored up here. Oh, what's up here? I wish I had a wheel for this. Wait, so what? Oh my god, I don't need to steal it multiple times. I never even thought about that. That is... They probably added that in so it wouldn't become too monotonous.
On your best behavior, I trust?
I don't care what you think. You don't have any power anymore.
Alright, I'm gonna investigate his house.
And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now,
I knew it. I fucking knew
I'm
it.
not supposed to be in here.
Oh.
Talk. What business?
What's going on with her? Claudia? Sorry about that. And I skipped the dialogue by accident.
An intriguing proposition. Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. You know, I may have the very... Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got wrong was his own. I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions have lingered in the back of my mind ever since. But to withdraw. Listen, I may not be Penelope to his Ulysses, but you must think me quite mad. Demetrius!
Aww.
thank you. Thank you. I feel deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate.
I'm not supposed to talk. My marital affair. You know, sometime now, but I couldn't agree more. One hand, it seems our interests are aligned. I imagine knowing, but first, I want you to bring me some wine. Just one. Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your... Let me tell you something about Malleolus. He talks a lot about freedom, but what he doesn't tell you is that he means freedom for men. After all I've done for him, counseling him through his entire election campaign, and he had the audacity to lock me in here. He said it was for my own good, and that my drinking was unbecoming of a lady, let alone the wife of a magistrate. I'll show him unbecoming. Tonight, at his victory party, I'm going to get good and merry, and if he tries to discipline me again, I'll threat... I am so... Thank you.
Quintitious, yep.
Now, perhaps...
What?
He's... Oh no. That's... quite a lot more serious. Give me that immediately.
What?
It was a lie of a mission. You were planning this all along and you... I curse you. This is outrageous.
Well.
Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without a hefty tribute, so you must... Look, if I had a Roman plaque in my possession, Are you insane? Why would I... Don't talk nonsense. How... Nonsense! I don't know how you know about my plan. And now, I'm going to enjoy watching... Now... Get out of...
Fuck. We'll pray for another... I'll just finish up this little bit and then I'll get off.
Domitius doesn't usually let... What? So... It finally caught up with me. I suppose that... So... You're...
Oh! I don't even...
Oh, so much work and money. Fine. Ruling this cesspit of a... I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal. And release... There. We got...
Alright. I didn't even need to pay it, but oh well. Not much else to do with these denaries. Now I'm done.